What is up, YouTubers, gamers, and fellow hobbyists out there? Welcome to P&Q, the question and answer series, where you put questions or comments to me, and then I respond the following P&Q. However, this one is a Halloween-themed one, so I have some Halloween-themed questions, and then I've probably got enough questions for one more P&Q after that if nobody asks me any questions. So make the most of it. That's what I intend to do. And I would say this might be one of the last videos filmed in this setup for a desktop type video, but it probably won't be. The reason is I'm getting a new setup for my video making, but I intend to keep the one I've got as well. Now the reason behind that is, well, different setups require different specifications, and certain things that I have are more specialized at other things than the other stuff. For instance, most YouTubers, they specialize in the desktop talkie type thing like this. Well, I don't mean most YouTubers, a lot of them do. And you know the type I'm talking about, where they bring in a boom mic over here and they just talk. Well, that's the kind of thing I'm going to be doing, but I'm testing it out over on a different desk, or I will be. So I've got the computer, I've got the boom arm. It's now attached to the table. So I'm just waiting for the microphone and the webcam to arrive. And if it's successful, I may keep it there for a while. And if not, well, or if it is, I will also, I'll clear a space in the corner of the desk here so that I can do it here like this. But this camera gives me the option to zoom in at a greater depth. I can really zoom in with these Sony cameras. They are made for this. They specialize it, and they're also greater for moving around type of videos, which, yeah, true, for the most part I do phone videos if I'm out and about, but that could change. Anyway, enough of that. So Halloween, P&Q, Halloween already. Halloween. We had summer and now it's Halloween. And yes, I'm filming this during the day because it's not as scary. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I've got these questions, and I've got them on my phone. Well, they're on my notepad actually, but I will. Let me just get the questions up. Okay, so I have put together all the, I don't know, Halloween or spooky type questions. I've kind of gone through, meticulously done it, you know, when I've been sat up in bed at night and that kind of thing. I'm slouching, don't want to be slouching. And I've lumped them all together so I can ask them on my Halloween one. It's nice that I got a lot of Halloween-y type ones, or ones that I could ask for this. So, okay, and I've got coffee in 3D Monster Maze mug, so get yourselves comfy. Oh, that's lovely. Get yourselves comfy, and we're going to have, I don't know how long have we been going? I haven't even started yet. 4 minutes, and I haven't even done anything yet. Right, I'm just going to crack on with it. So, in no particular order, if you could paint any army or model in a spooky Halloween theme, what would it be? Oh, it would be, can't even remember their name, the skeletons from the, is it Vampire Counts? No. I can't remember, the skeleton ones. The undead, whatever they're called. From the original Warhammer Fantasy. Them. Sorry, my brain's so fried these days. You know, you gotta bear with it. But those, or anything skeleton-y themed, really. But skeleton, yeah, it'd be a skeleton or skeletons. And yeah, rising from the ground or clutching shields and spears, and undead army of skeletons. That would be cool. Oh, what's the creepiest or most unsettling miniature you've ever seen or painted? I don't know about ever seen. Painted? Creepy little girl holding balloons. It's only 28mm, like, even so she's small, so she's a child. It was for my Call of Cthulhu. I don't know, I couldn't tell you where the model is to put my hand on specifically to show you. But she had this creepy look about her, like the creepy kid thing from like movies like, what's that one called with, Here's Johnny. Yeah, you know the one. Jack Nicholson in The Shining. Yeah, the kid in that, or kids in that, they're just so creepy. Yeah, something about it, I don't know. Okay, if you could design a Halloween limited edition miniature, what would it look like? Halloween limited edition miniature. A scarecrow with a pumpkin head. Because scarecrows can be terrifying, can't they? Yeah. Or a clown, but with a pumpkin head. I don't know, pumpkin head. Got to think about pumpkins. And we're making a big one, like 50mm or something. Have you ever tried painting glowing eyes, eerie lighting, or ghost effects on a model? Well, yeah, Space Marines. A lot of them have glowing eyes, don't they, for the eye lenses? And it was okay. It's cool. Not too bad. You do a lot of like OSL effects with that, especially underneath the eyes and things, or if he's holding something in front of him. Yeah, it's fun. OSL is fun. What Warhammer faction do you think would throw the best or worst Halloween party? Probably the Astra Militare. Yeah, because if they sit down with their war stories, you know, like Gaunt's Ghosts and whatever, if they sat down and told you some war stories, I mean, that would just freak you the hell out. Right, what's the scariest moment you've ever had in a game? Oh, I don't know. I'm sure there's been many over the years. Scariest moments you've ever had in a game? Don't know, not really, don't think I really, I suppose any of the Alien games I've ever played, the RPG game, they are scary. I mean, that is if you get it right, so scary. There's been a few Call of Cthulhu ones where it's been a bit, I'm going to say scary, but creepy, just generally creepy. They can be a little, I don't know, it can set you off kilter a bit, like, you know, whoa, what's going on here? It's just creepy, weird stuff, cults and whatever else. But I would say the scariest would be Alien, the RPG game. Board game wise, I suppose when we've been facing down the hordes in Zombicide, and we've had, you probably know, I mean, with myself and my family have had multiple games where we've like faced every miniature in the set and some, because I've got a couple sets and extra miniatures, and they've all been on me. It's just like that, you just look at the board and go, that's brown trousers time. You know, it really is. Okay, if your miniatures came to life one night, which one would terrify you the most? Oh, Imperial Knights, because, you know, I don't know. Because you think there's something inside driving it. I don't know. Gosh, there's so many to choose on. A dragon, maybe? Hell, I don't know. Take your pick. I mean, it's got snakes, dragons, alligators, demons. The list is endless. Okay. Which game world would be the worst to be trapped in on Halloween night? That's a good one. possibly either Call of Cthulhu or Resident Evil from the video games. Yeah. It's between Call of Cthulhu and Resident Evil. If you had to survive one night in a horror version of a game you own, which would you pick? Haunted House. That's a board game I had. I didn't have it. Played it as a child. I've got it now and restored it many moons ago. You may remember if you look at my game restoration board game videos, or just, I don't know, trawl through the archives. You'll find some somewhere, I'm sure. Yeah, because you're in a haunted house, but it's fun. It's cartoon-esque. Yeah, it's a haunted house. Blah blah blah. Right, have you ever added spooky scenarios or house rules for Halloween games? Yeah, played Ravenloft on Halloween once. That was good, and I didn't really need to add any house rules or anything like that. Just spooky fun. And then afterwards, you know, watched a horror movie, you know, with Dracula or what have you. Excuse me. Oh. Yeah, with Dracula. Definitely a vampire game. But yeah, if you did a Halloween special for your channel, what would you include? It would include me going out and about on Halloween, like kids do for trick or treat, but I wouldn't be doing that. I'd be going places, spooky places, on my own, just me and a camera. Maybe Dylan, because, you know, be too scared on my own. And a torch, of course. I got one of those lights that, you know, like minor light type things, but they're better because it's a strip. Would you ever paint in the dark with just a candle or torchlight for atmosphere? No. I'm really see what I'm doing. I need good lighting to paint. No, I wouldn't do that. I have done videos by candlelight though. Again, check the archives. If you could interview one horror movie character on Mini Warzone, who would it be and why? A horror movie character. Christopher Lee, but I can't because he's dead. But he's been in so many of the classic Dracula movies and that. I would like to, and he's just such an interesting man, wasn't he? Just so knowledgeable about stuff. And he had a great voice. He had a fantastic voice, as I remember. Deep, resonant, and the timbre of it, it was a good voice, and well spoken as well. Yeah, that would have been someone I would have loved to have interviewed. I would have had to have spent some serious time researching questions to ask him as well. What's the most Halloween appropriate soundtrack or music you've painted to? I don't paint to music. I know a lot of you do. I can't. I prefer to paint, if I'm going to paint to anything, I prefer to paint to a paint-along video. I prefer to watch and listen to somebody else painting whilst I'm painting. I can't even listen to audiobooks when I'm painting. I can't, because it's probably my brain, see, with my condition. I can't be too distracted elsewhere. My focus has to be on what's in front of me. Would you ever paint a miniature while wearing a horror mask for a fun video? No. Simply no. No. Do you remember any spooky games or shows from your childhood that really stuck with you? Yeah, Scooby-Doo. Do you remember that? The original Scooby-Doo. Fantastic. Oh, I loved that cartoon. I mean, I'm not talking about the newer ones. The original Scooby-Doo cartoons, they were fantastic. The artwork was just brilliant. The animation, It had such character. The characters were cool. The voiceovers were brilliant. And it was just very well produced. Have you ever played a board game or video game that genuinely creeped you out? Yeah, Resident Evil. Was it 2 or 3? I can't remember. There was one where, this is years ago, on my old PlayStation, when I was young, a lot younger. Actually, it wasn't on my PlayStation, it was on a friend's. And he had it all hooked up to, he had a big TV at the time, which was unusual back then. And he had an amazing sound system. He had the surround sound, or quadraphonic even. And there was a dog barking, woof, woof, you know, and he had the blinds closed, or the curtains closed. My mate Jim. And you could hear a trash can being knocked over in the distance, what sounded like in the distance, and then a dog barking. It literally made me jump out of my seat. It scared the crap out of me, it did. Really, What's your favourite Halloween movie or TV special to watch this time of year? I don't really have traditions of that nature. My wife is not a fan of horror movies. Scary movies, really. I mean, Predator is probably the scariest you go to, or Alien. I mean, yeah, that's really scary, but it's also sci-fi based. So maybe I could say Alien, or Aliens, even Alien 3. Yeah. We're going to go for Alien or Predator, but I think Alien. Okay, if you could own one haunted object from pop culture, what would it be? Haunted object? I don't really know. Sorry, not very good, am I? I don't even know any. I probably do, but I just can't think of any right now. Sorry. Do you believe any of your miniatures might be ... a little cursed? No, of course not. They're just miniatures. What's scarier? A haunted house or a box of unpainted miniatures, judging from your shelf? What? That ain't scary, mate. That is gorgeous. It's a pleasure, a sight to behold. Fills me with joy. It just seeps into my brain when I look at it. Makes me feel good. So it'd have to be a haunted house, because that's not scary. Okay. If your paint water turned into a mysterious bubbling green potion, would you still rinse your brush in it? Probably not. Probably not. Here's one. Which is worse, running out of primer mid-project or finding a mould line after you've painted the model? Definitely finding a mould line after I've painted the model, which I have done a few times. And you think you've got them all. The moment the primer hits the model, you look down and you think, shit, I've missed that one. And it's glaringly obvious when the primer hits it. You think, oh no. And you got to start again. I've had to do that at least 3 times. So, yeah. If you had to paint a ghost army using only glow-in-the-dark paint, how long before you went mad? Don't know, because I've never done it. Ha! Have you ever looked at a model you painted years ago and thought, that's the real horror? Oh god, yeah. Yes! I've looked at models I've painted. My original Dark Vengeance box set miniatures I've painted 3 times. And even now I look at them and think, damn, I could do so much better. But I refuse, you hear me? I refuse to strip them again and paint them. That said, I do have some Chaos ones that need redoing, and that is a shame. But yeah. Okay. If your dice were possessed, what evil things would they do? What kind of questions are these? Well, roll 1s all the time, probably. Which gaming rulebook do you think would make the best cursed tome in a horror movie? The Book of Nod from Vampire the Masquerade. I used to have the Book of Nod. It's kind of like the vampiric Bible, I guess you could say, in the gaming world, the world of darkness. So yeah, I would say the Book of Nod. Yeah. If you had to summon an ancient evil using only miniatures, which army would you use? Which game do you think Ghosts would actually be good at? One of us is actually mad. I don't know which one. I can't answer these. Have you ever blamed bad dice rolls on a haunting? Be honest. No, I haven't. It's just bad luck. If you woke up as one of your miniatures on Halloween, which would it be and why? No, move on. I don't know. Would you rather spend Halloween night in a haunted mansion or your hobby room after midnight with all your miniatures watching? Oh, in my hobby room. Because miniatures watching or not, it's my hobby room. It's my place of zen. It's the place where I come to calm down. So yes. If you carved a pumpkin themed after your favourite game, what would it look like? Oh, I don't know. And how would I do it? That's the other thing. Well, I suppose Warhammer. Try and carve the pumpkin out like a Space Marine helmet. I guess. If your dog barked at your miniatures one night, would you A, laugh, B, get the camera, or C, move house? I'd probably B, get the camera. Film that one. That gets going viral. Yeah, do that. Which spooky monster would make the best hobby assistant? A vampire that works all night, a zombie that never complains, or a ghost? 0 desk space needed. Ghost with 0 desk space needed, because, you know, I don't have much room as it is, so the ghost. Okay, I've got a few more here. What's the most cursed conversion idea you've ever had? Can't say I've ever had a cursed conversion idea. If you could haunt any hobby store, what would you whisper to customers? I know what you did last night. I don't know, something like that. Which of your miniatures do you suspect moves when you're not looking? Don't be crazy. What's scarier, forgetting to varnish a model or accidentally dropping it? Accidentally dropping it, because you can still varnish it after the fact as long as you haven't dropped it. So there you go. If Halloween had an official wargaming scenario, what would the mission objective be? To dig up all the cursed pumpkins. That got a little crazy, but then it is Halloween, so that is allowed. Maybe I'll have more questions. I do have a couple of questions from people that have asked me recently. Mr. Riddick Beer, I mean, I know you're one of them. That'll be on the next normal P&Q. So, but this is the Halloween themed questions on, so I had to bunch them all together as best I could. I mean, some of them were a bit crazy. I just can't answer some of them because I don't know. I don't have an answer. I can't think like that. But it was fun, wasn't it? I mean, it was for me. I had fun. It was a good laugh. So all that remains for me to say is, oh my goodness, 25 minutes. So this is Halloween P&Q, the Q&A series. I hope you have a happy Halloween. Those of you that celebrate it, I know a lot of you are really, really into it. So have a good Halloween, especially if you've got like your kids around. Have a good time. If not, do whatever you do. Have a good time. Have a laugh. Put on a movie. Whatever you do, just chill out. Have some time off. Have a good one, and I really, really hope that you do. Be safe, be cool, be chill, and I'll see you guys on another video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.